Welcome to MoxiEngage 101 Be Engaging. I'm Judy Elliott, and I'll be guiding you through our presentation today, along with the training manager from MoxiWorks, Don McClellan. We're so excited you joined us today to learn more about MoxiEngage and see how it can help keep you organized and strengthen your relationships with your sphere of influence. We have a couple of quick items to go over before we jump into the product, so let's get started. First, please know that as independent contractors, all learning opportunities are optional. I'm here to help explain how the tool functions and how it may benefit your business, but it's completely up to you to decide whether what we cover today should be implemented or not. As we talk through the tool functionality, we will also discuss how to connect with people. Please note that it's important to comply with state and local do not contact laws and regulations. If you're unsure of how to stay D&C compliant, please connect with your broker owner or branch manager to find out more. One final note is that the COVID-19 crisis has resulted in executive orders and other protective guidance at the state and local levels. Please make sure you're reviewing the requirements in your area with your broker, including those related to non-essential businesses and telemarketing to consumers. For our agenda today, I'll be introducing you to MoxiEngage. Then we'll talk about the business benefits MoxiEngage can bring to you and your business. Next, we'll take a tour of Engage with a live demo, including how to use the help section that's available to you within the tool. And we'll wrap up with some important next steps to ensure that you have what you need to get started, and where to find additional learning opportunities, including self-paced learning and quick reference guides. Throughout this presentation, you'll see things like questions or polls and tips that pop up on the right side of your screen. Those will allow me to engage with you throughout our time together. Let's give it a try with our first question. How excited are you to learn more about MoxiEngage? I'll give you a few seconds to answer the question that's popping up right now. Thanks for your responses. I'll ask this question again at the end of our session and see if we have even more excitement. You can also ask questions through the chat located on the lower right side of your screen. I'll answer your questions as soon as I can, and if you don't hear from me immediately during class, then expect an email response from me after. At the end of our session today, when we talk about next steps, I'll be providing a link to all the other support training materials available to you. Another cool feature we can take advantage of today is the like button, which is located near the bottom right of your screen. When you hear something you like, be sure to give some encouragement by hitting the thumbs up button. Let's give it a try now. Go ahead and hit the thumbs up button now. That's great. Thanks for all your likes. I'm going to share a couple of exciting features of MoxiEngage, so keep your finger on that like button before we jump into our demo with Dawn. MoxiEngage by MoxiWorks is a powerful CRM and business planner designed specifically for real estate professionals. Brokerages with MoxiEngage provide incomparable value to their regions, offices, teams, and agents with the leading sphere selling focused CRM built on the best practices of the greatest agents. MoxiEngage was launched by MoxiWorks in 2014. Their product offerings have grown immensely since then, now offering an entire suite of tools and services on the Moxie Cloud open platform. MoxiWorks is continually innovating to ensure it brings best-in-class tools and services to its users. MoxiEngage is your devoted sidekick, keeping you on task and in flow, syncing and updating info and insights about your clients, and ultimately helping you save the day every day with these features. Contact management. MoxiEngage provides agents with a space to house data for every contact in their sphere, with the confidence that they'll have guided support in turning those contacts into business. MoxiEngage allows agents to organize and group their leads in ways that cater to their own personal preferences. MoxiEngage is the only real estate CRM that offers completely automated emails with market snapshots personalized for each subscribed contact in an agent's MoxiEngage account. These monthly touchpoints keep an agent's sphere up to date on happenings in their neighborhood without any additional associated costs. Agents set a GCI goal within the CRM, and it automatically tracks their progress towards the goal. MoxiEngage uses the tool to provide agents with the insights they need to craft their daily to-dos based on where they stand in relation to it, keeping them on track to reach their goal, or in most cases, surpass it. MoxiEngage is connected to your MLS. MLS records are continually pulled, so agents always have up-to-date property data at their fingertips, with no manual data entry required. And task recommendations. MoxiEngage provides daily task recommendations, helping you stay on top of your leads at the right time every time. MoxiEngage helps you know what you should be doing today in order to win more business tomorrow. Let's talk about some of the business benefits of using MoxiEngage. MoxiWorks research has found agents who fully utilized MoxiEngage saw 64% more transactions on average than their peers without MoxiEngage. So start your day in the dashboard with a flyover view of your business, your contacts, your tasks, and your income goals. Drive your business further with a CRM that keeps you organized, increases productivity, and truly strengthens your relationships by focusing on your sphere of influence first. More agents achieve their financial goals when they have a sidekick helping them save the day. In MoxiEngage, set your annual GCI goal and allow MoxiEngage to align tasks, campaigns, and guidance to aid you in achieving your goal. Each day, your dashboard starts with your workday with a snapshot of upcoming tasks and events, as well as a few recommended contacts to stay in flow with. Campaigns can pull mail merger fields, cultivating better relationships by delivering personalized information. The neighborhood news feature creates and delivers content for a customer's specific zip code, neighborhood, or custom area, giving them unique insight into their local market. Automated touchpoints keep your sphere up to speed on what's new in their neck of the woods. I'll show you how you can use all these tools to stay in touch with your sphere, close more transactions, and stay top of mind with your people so they don't forget you are in the business down the line when they need an agent. Now let's take a tour so you can see MoxiEngage in action. During our tour of MoxiEngage today, we'll talk about connecting your email to Engage and setting your GCI goal. I'll walk through the features of the agent dashboard, how you can stay in flow or stay in touch with your contacts, and you'll see how you can move people through the sales flow. Think of this as the life cycle of a relationship. I'll also show you how you can set up your preferences for different notifications and tasks, as well as how to organize your sphere or list of people, and then we'll wrap it up with how to use the help feature within Engage. In order to use Engage, you have to have a company-provided Office 365 email or Google Workspace, or a free Gmail account. Any other email providers will not work with MoxiEngage, such as Yahoo or AOL. When you log into MoxiEngage for the first time, you may be presented with the option to sync your email. If so, it'll be easy to follow the prompts to complete the process. If you are not presented with the option to sync, this means that a pre-sync has occurred automatically using your company-provided email listed in Dash. Regardless of which process happens for you, by connecting an email account, all your contacts will be made available to you in Engage. To ensure that the most accurate and up-to-date contacts are migrated to MoxiEngage, we strongly recommend that you take the time to clean up your email and mobile phone contacts before you first log in. If you have a mobile device, make sure those contacts are synced to your email account. Review the information from your broker about these important reminders. And on another note, Moxie does not store contacts, it just has access to them to display and allow you to track and work with them in Engage. If you unengage a contact, Moxie will no longer have access to it and did not save it. In addition to syncing with your email account, all Engage users will also have the option to migrate their Zap or Market Leader contact data to Engage. So make sure those contacts are cleaned up as well. Make sure you've reviewed the data migration options previously communicated to you by your broker. Once your contacts sync, within Engage, you'll have a list of people which over time will consist of your sphere and leads you'll receive from your broker. Then, going forward, continue to add everyone you know. These can be non-clients, personal or collaborators, like vendors and business associates, or buyer and seller clients. And there are your broker leads, which come from a variety of sources, the internet or walk-ins. Your broker has routing rules in place for offering those leads, and they'll be in your people list as clients. Let's walk through the process that those broker leads will go through to get to you. With company-generated or broker leads, they start with a consumer making a request for information on a website or social media. The request is received in Leads Engine, the company's lead routing tool. Based on routing rules set up by your broker, the lead is offered to an agent via a phone call. As the agent, you can accept the lead or pass. If you pass, it goes to the next agent in the rotation. Once it's accepted, the lead and additional information about the lead will be entered into your MoxiEngage account, and you'll get an email notification that it's there for you. For agent-generated leads, you'll be notified in the same way, and the lead will also be uploaded to your MoxiEngage account. The call will come from this specific phone number, so we recommend you put this number in your phone as a contact with a special ringtone so you'll always answer. For broker leads that you accept, and if your broker has established guidelines for engagement, you may be required to take action on the lead throughout your relationship with the lead. Those actions are things like sending an email or logging a phone call within Engage. And I'll show you how easy it is to stay in touch and stay top of mind with all your contacts, whether they're company leads or your people in your sphere. But for now, let's get back to your setup of Engage. After you sync with your email, you'll then be asked to set a goal. Do you know what your GCI or gross commission income goal is? If not, you have a great tool at your disposal, the RE Scoreboard. You can use the RE Scoreboard to identify an exact goal based on the annual income you need to pay your bills, save for your future, and fund the goals that really matter. You can access the RE Scoreboard from your brand university. Then enter that GCI goal here and let Engage help you keep track of your progress towards this goal. Once you complete the initial setup screens, this is when you'll see the option to migrate contact data from Zap or Market Leader into MoxiEngage. Again, it's very important that you read the information provided to you by your broker before you consider doing the migration. We want to make sure you understand the options available before you make the choice to migrate your existing CRM data to MoxiEngage or not. The data migration process can only be done once and cannot be undone. All contacts added to MoxiEngage will also be synced to your email account, including all these migrated contacts if you choose to do this step. If you choose to migrate your data, simply follow the prompts on screen as well as those outlined in the communications you received. If you decide to skip for now, you'll have a button in the top right of your screen within MoxiEngage to start the process at any time. Now let's dive into the demo site and see how everything works. I'm going to turn it over to our MoxiEngage expert, Dawn McClellan. Dawn joins us today from the Seattle, Washington area. She's been working with MoxiWorks for 9 years, training agents all over the country on how MoxiEngage can help grow their businesses. I'm really excited that she could join us today, and so if you're ready, Dawn, take it away.
Thank you so much for inviting me to join you today. I'm excited to share how MoxiEngage works, so let's get started. Welcome to the Agent Dashboard. The Agent Dashboard is your hub to keep you on track and in flow with your entire sphere. It's organized around the people in your sphere. It provides the tools and insight necessary to manage the entire customer lifecycle, from marketing through completed transactions. It guides agents and brokers to do the right tasks at the right times, which can lead to greater productivity and revenue. Let's start at the top with the main menu. Agent identifies the current dashboard mode. If someone has other access, you'll see that in the drop-down menu. You can head back to the dashboard from any screen inside Engage. From the People menu, you can access an overview of recommended actions, recently viewed contacts, and see your sales flow. The My People screen is a view that lets you manage your full list of all your contacts in your sphere. And of course, Add People allows you to add a contact to your sphere one at a time. The calendar gives you access to your full calendar that is synced from your email and will show you all of your daily events. Goals will allow you to view the Goals module. The information displayed on the Goals module is based on the goal that you entered during setup when you first started using MoxiEngage. You can always update this goal from the Goals module. And Campaigns is where you can access Campaigns homepage, track your neighborhood news subscriptions. We'll talk all about these touch points later, but you can access that information right here. Over to the right, you have a Find People search box. This is where you can type in anyone's name. Start with at least 3 letters and you'll see the name pop up on your screen. The gear icon here allows you to access any settings or your preferences, and we'll come back to this later as well. And lastly, the envelope icon is where you can send email directly through MoxiEngage. Let's take a look at the dashboard now. As I mentioned, this dashboard is your hub to keep you on track and in flow with your entire sphere, and it's made up with a series of different modules. Starting at the top is your Stay in Flow module. This module shows you contacts who you may have not connected with in a while and helps you stay in contact with them. You don't have to do any digging for any of the people you need to connect with on a daily basis. We'll show them to you right here on this module. There's a gear icon here on the module that allows you to choose your cadence. So how often do you want to have reminders? You can change that from 30, 60, or 90 days. And we'll come back to this module in a minute to look at the ways that you can reach out to your contacts that are listed here. Moving down, you'll see your activity feed. The activity feed will display any of the recent activity in your sphere. This means any activity that's been generated through your interactions with people, things like email sent, presentations viewed. You can also adjust the settings on this module as well for what types of activities you want to see and how long that time frame of displayed activities would be. Next, we have our to-do list. This will show any tasks that you set for yourself to complete. As you add tasks, there will be a circle next to that task that allows you to mark it as complete. So this section is all the tasks you add for yourself. This to-do list also has transaction tasks. If you have someone you're already working with, any of the tasks related to that transaction will show up here to keep you on track so you know the things that you need to do, the things that you need to get done right away. It'll also show you the person's name, so you can click on their name and go right to their profile for additional information. But you can also mark something as completed right from here as well. Again, the dashboard is an easy view of all the tasks and activities you are currently working on. As we continue to scroll down, you'll see our calendar module. This is going to show you all of the events that you have scheduled on your calendar today. And then you have your sales flow. The sales flow module is going to display all of your current progress towards successful transactions. The number listed in each one of these zones lets you quickly see the total number of contacts and transactions in each zone. So think of this as the life cycle of your relationship with your people. You can select any one of these zones and it'll navigate you to the My People screen and filter only those people that are in that zone. So it gives you a quick look at them. We'll go into this in more detail later. Scrolling further, we also see our goals completion. The goals completion module displays the current year's GCI goal. You'll set a goal for every consecutive calendar year as we get there. So this will show you the goal that you entered in when you first logged into MoxiEngage. At this point, we've not reached any part of our goal, but this will update as you move people through the sales flow and close transactions. You can also select View from this module to open up the full goals page should you want to see any additional details. And then finally, we have the My Listings section. My Listings will display all current and sold listings associated with your account. From here, you'll be able to send out listing announcements or just sold announcements, which we'll talk about later as we go through the training as well. Now I can jump back up to the top by selecting one of the buttons on the right-hand side and just jump to stay in flow. I can also move these buttons around if I want to have this in a different order to just make my life a little easier. Set this up for my success. So now that we're back at the Stay in Flow module, remember that this will show you 5 people that you should be reaching out to on a daily basis. So every single day, you'll get a new set of 5 people. These can be anyone in your sphere or even leads that you've accepted from your broker. You can get really specific with who you want to have show up here by using that gear icon to set your preferences. Previously, I mentioned that you could set up your cadence for 30, 60, or 90 days, but you can also identify the types of people you want to have show up. These are the different categories that are built into MoxiEngage. By default, all of the boxes that you see checked will be checked for you as well. And as you start using MoxiEngage, you may identify the types of people that you do want to see here and those that you don't. And you can update this at any time, and it will update on your Stay in Flow module. You can select the gear icon again to save any changes to your settings, and it will upload or refresh the screen to show us 5 people that meet that criteria. Now we can decide how we want to reach out to our person. The entire idea behind the Stay in Flow module is that you stay top of mind with your people and will surface people to you that you may want to connect with. So you have options for reaching out to your people. The Reach Out drop-down menu on each profile card will display all the touch points you can make with this person. So Engage will offer up options for us to connect with our person based on what's in their profile. For example, if this contact did not have a phone number, the call option would not be available. In this example, I can send this person a personal note. This will give me an address to work with, and I can send a handwritten note or card. I can also log a phone call. So you're not actually making a phone call from this tool. You're logging that you made the phone call. You can email your person right from here, or you can sign them up for neighborhood news or a drip email campaign. And again, these are 2 touch points that we'll talk about in just a little bit, but you can do those directly from this drop-down menu. For this example, I'm going to go ahead and, For this example, I'm going to go ahead and select email. This will open up our email form. You can complete this. It'll pre-fill the person's email address, and then you just need to add a subject line and something in the body of the email. And it doesn't have to be related to real estate. It can simply be a check-in. Hi, how are you? What's going on in your life? And then click send, and that will log that for your person. So let's go ahead and do that. And send. Something simple, and now you'll see that that particular contact is checked off as having been reached out to. This is a great way to start your day every day. Take a look at who's here, quickly use one of the touch points to stay in touch, and you will have reached out to at least 5 people every single day, and it doesn't take much time. Now let's really focus on those additional touch points I keep mentioning. Neighborhood news. Staying in flow is all about connecting with your people. And in this Stay in Flow module, this is only 5 people we're connecting with, but some touch points allow you to connect with more people on a regular basis. Neighborhood news is one of those examples. Neighborhood news is a monthly market snapshot. It's an update email that was sent on your behalf to a targeted group of contacts. Neighborhood news provides people with relevant housing market statistics and information by zip code or location, and it's all branded with your contact information. It's meant to be a conversation starter between you and your person where you can tell them what's going on in their market area, and then they can reach out to you to find out more personalized information. Now, I can use the Reach Out drop-down menu to select neighborhood news, but for this example, I want to go to my person's profile to show you how to do it from there as well. So I'll go ahead and select my person's name. This will bring me to their profile. And then if I scroll down on the left-hand side, you'll see a subscriptions section. We're going to select Add Subscriptions. Now, you're going to have two options here, neighborhood news and listing announcements. I'll talk about listing announcements in just a minute, but first, let's stick with neighborhood news. If you scroll down a little bit, you'll see an option to view a sample of neighborhood news, and this is a sample of what will be emailed to your person. Strictly a sample here so you know what this looks like. Let's go ahead and close the sample and add our subscription. Once we select the Add Subscription button, you're going to have two options for sending out neighborhood news, the quick or the custom. The quick option is just that. It's quick. All you have to do is plug in a zip code and a neighborhood news report will be based on that zip code. So we'll select Go. If we have a mailing address for our person, the zip code will be pre-populated. If we do not have a mailing address, you'll need to enter in a zip code. And if we've pre-populated it and you know you want to change it, you can change the zip code. You can also update the email note that is in here, and this will go in just the initial neighborhood news email. So this is a welcome text letting your person know what is going to be included in this report. You can adjust this here if you want. And that's it. We can select Done. And our person will now be receiving a neighborhood news market snapshot email once a month. This is generally when a question comes up about the timing and the day that this neighborhood news report will be sent. It's sent once a month on the day that you set it up. So keep this in mind when you are setting these up. Don't plan to create all of your neighborhood news reports all on the first of the month. Your contacts may be getting other notifications at the beginning of the month, so consider setting yourself apart and sending these on what might seem odd days of the month. So not the 1st, the 15th, or even the last day of the month, but maybe somewhere in between all of those. Now let's look at the custom report. So I'm going to go back to Add Subscription, Add Neighborhood News, and then select Custom. You would want to use the custom report when you are wanting to be more of a narrow focus than the entire zip code. Maybe your zip code is too broad an area, or your zip code is too narrow an area and you want to encompass multiple zip codes. You can designate that on the map. You have boundary options where you can draw your own custom boundary. You can even use a school attendance zone boundary to designate where. And you want to make sure that this report is going to be meaningful to your person. So you want the properties that display to also be meaningful, even though this is not a saved search. So this is not showing properties that your person might want to put an offer on. This is showing properties that are active right now and driving the information of what is trending in that particular market. But you want to make sure that your person will engage and find the report meaningful. So you may want to adjust what properties are displaying in order for that person to feel like this report reflects their situation. So you can also change based on your pricing, beds and bath, and filters. So let's say our person lives in a condo. We could then remove single family properties and just look at condos and townhouses, apply that, and it will adjust what is going to be shown in this report. It's still using the broader zip code to drive the data that will be shown for the trending of the market area. Then we'll select Next. We'll confirm our contact email information. If your contact has multiple emails, you can select from the drop-down menu which email this should be sent to. Then we'll select Next. And we'll see a preview of our report, both the email preview on the left and the full report on the right. And as I scroll down, you'll be able to see what that looks like and how that's filled in for you. Then we'll select Send. And Neighborhood News is now going to be sent to my person. You've now subscribed an individual to Neighborhood News. The person will immediately receive their first issue of Neighborhood News when you subscribe them, followed by an email each month from the day of the start of the subscription. So we just set this up for one person, but we can also do this for a lot of people at one time. From the navigation menu at the top, go ahead and hover over People, and then select My People to open up our entire database. My People is your full list of all your contacts. You can choose to select everybody, or we can choose just a select few by choosing the little box to the left of their name. Once we've made some selections, you'll have bulk options available to you at the top of the screen. We can select Add To, choose Neighborhood News, and again, we have the options for that quick option, which is just the zip code, or the custom option that we can set up for this select group of people. I'll go ahead and select Custom for this example. Again, I can go through the same process of adjusting my area. Maybe I zoom out on the map. I can then draw an area that I want to focus in on. Maybe it's right between these two freeways. And we'll focus in on just this area. I can then make my filter options as well. Maybe this time it is just single family and no condos or townhomes. I'll select Next. Confirm my contacts and the emails for each one of them. Select Next, preview this email. So again, we have the email on the left and the full report will show on the right. And we can scroll down and see that full report, which includes the active listings, trends for the surrounding market area. We have changes that have happened over month to month, median pricing, average days to sell, and then down at the bottom, we also have a call to action to reach out to your agent. So your person will have the option to connect with you. Then we'll go ahead and say send to 3 people, and this neighborhood news will be set up on a monthly cadence to send out to this select group of people. One thing to note at this point, the neighborhood news I just created is just for the group of people that I created it for. It's not a saved search that can be sent to others. So if you wanted to add a neighborhood news to anyone else, you would need to select those people, choose neighborhood news from the Add To drop-down menu, and then create your custom neighborhood news. Let's go ahead and take a look at another Touchpoint subscription. We're still here on the My People view, and when we looked at subscriptions, we saw there was also listing announcements. Subscribing people to listing announcements allows you to send out an announcement regarding either a just listed or just sold property to anyone in your sphere. And just like with neighborhood news, I'm going to actually open up an individual's profile, scroll down to the subscription section, and select Add. This time, let's scroll down a little bit and look at the sample for listing announcements. This is a sample of the email that will be sent out on your behalf for listing announcements. You'll be able to adjust the subject line and some of the body copy here to be able to really customize this email when you want to send that out. Let's close this preview and select Add Subscription. Here we can choose to have our person receive either the just listed or the just sold. In this case, I'll have this person receive both of these, and then I'll select Done. Listing announcements do not go out automatically, but once you have a just listed or sold home listing, you'll be able to just click a button and send to everyone that you have a subscription set up for. The next touch point that I want to show you is special dates, such as birthdays, anniversaries, and house anniversaries. You can send emails or even send a gift using Loop and Tie. So while we're on this contact, let's select Profile. This profile, if I scroll down, you'll see has no special dates associated with that. But we can add that by coming back up to the top and selecting Edit. Then we'll scroll down to the Dates section and select Add a Date. Choose birthday, anniversary, or house anniversary. Let's go ahead and choose birthday, and then add in the date of that birthday. This person is coming up on Halloween, so I'm going to put that birthday in there and then select Done. Now that this date is added to the person's profile, we'll scroll down to find the date here on their profile, see that it's here, and then we can select Add to Calendar. This will add this to your synced calendar. You can view that either from MoxiEngage or from your email calendar. Next, we'll actually want to select the calendar icon to take us to the calendar. And this will allow us to set up a connection, a touch point with this person up to a year in advance. So this person's birthday is coming up in the next month, but I could also, after that day is passed, come back in and set up my email announcement for the following year. So you can schedule up to a year in advance. If you want to say happy birthday, go ahead and select the happy birthday button, and then you can send on birthday, and your message will be sent at the next upcoming birthday. Go ahead and schedule that. You can edit this message at any time, and you can also send a gift through our gifting partner, Loop and Tie. If you want to call this person, their phone numbers are right here, and you'll be able to dial that if you're on a mobile device. Special dates can be used for all of your contacts as a way to stay in touch, even after they've bought a house or sold a house with you, or if they are a friend or family or coworker. Perhaps take the time at the beginning of a month to add special dates for a group of contacts and then schedule the emails to go out this month. You could even do this at the beginning of the year because you can schedule the emails to go out up to a year in advance. So let's recap all the great touch points we've set up so far: neighborhood news, listing announcements, and special dates. There's one more great touch point that you can use in MoxiEngage to stay in touch called campaigns. Campaigns are a collection of emails that will go out on a regular basis. Let's go ahead and set up a campaign. I'll click on campaigns in the menu at the top of the screen. On the campaign page, you'll see a few tabs. We'll start with My Campaigns. These are the campaigns you selected from the library, and you can use those to send out to your people. There are 3 different types of campaigns you can set up and send out. The first one is a sequential, which allows you to communicate with your person through a regular flow of emails that are not tied to a calendar date. For example, the first email goes out maybe today, and the next is scheduled to go out 7 days later, and so on. The second type is date-driven. These are emails scheduled to be sent out on a specific day of the year, like a holiday campaign. And the third type is an e-blast campaign, which are individual emails that can be sent at any time to one person or a group of people using the campaign mailer. All campaigns can be managed from this homepage. You can see which campaigns you have already selected but are not started, maybe they're in your awaiting setup section. You can see running campaigns that are your currently active campaigns. Any paused campaigns show you campaigns that you've elected to put a pause on for now. And archived campaigns shows you all of the campaigns that have run their course and are now complete or that you chose to archive. When you first log in, you will not have any campaigns displaying, so you'll want to click on the Add from Library button. From this list, you'll see all the campaigns that have been added by your broker that you can use. There are date-specific campaigns like seasonal home maintenance. There are sequential campaigns like recently closed buyer campaigns. And you can click preview on any of these campaigns to look at all of the emails and the schedule. Let's go back, and I want to actually select a holiday campaign. In the preview on the left, you see the email and what that will look like. And then on the right, you see your campaign schedule. When are these emails going to be going out? If I like this campaign, I can go ahead and select the Add to Campaigns button on the bottom right-hand corner, and this will add this to my library, and then I can use it for any of my people. So now here's my campaign at the top of my list. It says copy 1 because I've added this before, but I wanted to show you how this worked, and this is my favorite campaign. Now we'll need to add people to receive this campaign. So to do that, we'll click on the name. And this will bring us to the campaign where we can set up who's going to get it and see what the schedule is. You could edit the name of your campaign also if you would like to, but this name is only visible to you. So name it something that will be quickly viewed, that you will know exactly what it is when you spot that. We then want to add people here. So the gray check mark lets me know that there are no people added to this campaign, but I can go over to the right and select the Setup button and then choose Add Recipients. From here, you can select individual people to receive this campaign, Or you can jump over to groups and select a group to receive the campaign. The beauty of adding groups is that the group itself is subscribed to this campaign. So let's say 6, 12, 18 months after today, you add a new person and you're not sure what campaigns you want to add them to yet, but you know what groups you want to add them to. You can plug them into a group, and if that group is subscribed to the campaign, you will automatically start seeing that person receive campaign emails from you on a regular basis. So that touch point automatically happens because the group is subscribed. For this example, though, I'm going to select some people to receive this, and then I'll choose Add. This then adds those people to my recipient list, and I'll select Save. And now my checkbox is no longer gray. It's nice and blue, letting me know I have people in this campaign. I then have my campaign schedule. If I wanted to change a date, I could do that by selecting Edit Schedule. But if you edit the schedule, that will actually break the sync to the original campaign that's up in the library. And the only danger here is that if a new email was added to that campaign, you would not automatically receive that and have it run in the background. So if you choose to make any adjustments or changes, just know that any updates that might happen to the original, you would need to go back to the library, see those updates, download them again, and update your campaign. So let me check the campaign schedule. The next email that will go out for this particular campaign is the Halloween email for October 31st. I'm happy with that, so I'm going to go ahead and run my campaign. If I select Finish Later, it's simply saving it as a draft, and I can come back at a later date, but my emails will not be going out. So we do need to select Run Campaign to make sure that this campaign will start sending out to the people I've selected. Then we'll come back to our home screen. Back on the home screen, you'll see your campaign at the top of this list. Over on the far right, you can see the number of people subscribed, and you can also see the open rate, click rate, and your unsubscribes from this list. There is so much you can do with campaigns. I recommend that it's one of the first places you go to when you log in. Take a look at the library, add any campaigns you'd like from your brand or your broker. The next thing I want to show you, though, is the My Emails tab. All of the individual emails from any campaign you added from the library will be listed here. And based on your permissions, you may be able to edit these emails. I'm not going to show you how to do that today, but there is a lot of help available for these steps. I'll show you how to use the help feature before we finish today, but the next thing I want to show you is the sales flow back on the dashboard. And we'll select sales flow from our navigation. Let's talk a little bit about what the sales flow is. We've talked about how touch points are a really big part of staying top of mind with your people in Engage. Another big part of Engage is helping you to stay on target to meet your goal. And that is done through the sales flow, which is really the relationship cycle that you have with your people. Each sales flow zone is a milestone for an individual client's progress towards a successful transaction. These milestones each have a task list for you to customize and complete to help you stay on top of the transaction. As you continue to complete tasks and move your client's transaction through the zones of the sales flow until you're ready to close. Let's talk about each one of these zones. In marketing, every person represents a prospective transaction. Marketing is populated with people that you want to target with the goal of persuading them to work with you. In the prospect zone, you would move people to that zone if they expressed an interest in working with you, and their prospective transaction could develop within the next 12 months. Actives show people that are actively working with you. However, this doesn't have anything to do with the active status on a listing on the MLS. This is specifically your relationship with your person. And pending are people that have a pending transaction. You have a mutually agreed upon buyer-seller contract, a mutual offer on a home, and are moving toward closing. And when you close the transaction, MoxiEngage will then automatically move that person back into the marketing zone so that you will stay top of mind with them and get reminders to check and connect in with them through that Stay in Flow module. When you're just getting started, you won't have anybody in any of these zones. But when we talk about organizing your people, I'll show you a quick way to put people into the right zone. Let me show you, though, what the tasks look like for some of these zones and how to move people through to the next zone. We'll start with prospects. So I'll click on the prospects box to just look at these 3 people. Here we're back on the My People screen, but we're filtering to just look at the 3 prospects that I have. I'll go ahead and select a person to open up their profile. On this contact's profile card, you can see over towards the bottom left a blue section that lets you know what transaction you're running with this person. Is it a buyer or seller? And then at the top of their profile, you can also see the different zones represented, and the current zone will be blue with the star. So here, Kirby is in the prospects zone. As you scroll down the page, you'll see the different tasks that are associated with the prospect zone. And remember, the prospect zone is anyone who's expressed interest in working with you. One of the tasks in this list is to create a seller presentation. If you click on that task, you'll then see a call to action button, this green button that says create a seller presentation. MoxiWorks has built our products to be integrated with each other. If your brokerage is selected to integrate other products, you'll be able to make use of these call to action buttons on multiple tasks. So if we click on this button, we can select our listing source. We'll be brought to Moxie Present, and a new presentation will have been created automatically. You can see that presentation up here in the upper left. If you do not have Present, you won't see that call to action button. For any task that you complete, once you've completed them, you can just check the box, and this will keep a log of when you completed the task at the bottom of the page. When you're ready to move this person to the next zone because you won the listing, click the button at the top of the screen that says Move to Active Zone. Now that we're in the active zone, you'll see a new set of tasks for you. We have mail gifts, schedule appointment, create property prep list. This is a default set of tasks for this zone, but later when we look at settings, I'll show you how you can customize these tasks. After you've completed all of the tasks, you're ready to move to the next zone. And again, we'll click the button at the top, Move to Pending Zone. You'll want to add in an estimated closing date and then choose Yes. At this point in the sales flow, you'll need to enter in your transaction information. Normally, you would probably have a listing number that you would plug in here, and all of the info would populate automatically. But since we are not live, we will be using non-MLS options, so I can show you how this transaction can be closed. Then choose a closing price. Update any of your dates, including your start date. I actually started working with this person back in August. And once I'm done with this, I'll select Done. Then select the Tasks tab, and again you'll see all of the tasks associated with the pending zone. You can check these off as complete, and then it's time to close your transaction. So we'll select Close Transaction. At this point, we need to enter in all of the details related to this property. Confirm your closing date and your commission. Select Continue. Select OK and confirm again. And you're done. This contact has now been moved back into the marketing zone, so you can stay in touch with them with the tasks as part of the Stay in Flow module. You can also go back into his profile and update his house anniversary date so you reach out to him next year. We can now actually go to the Goals module to see how this closed transaction will impact our numbers for the year. Now let's go back to our dashboard. On the dashboard, you can jump to the sales flow to see the updated numbers. But we can also take a look at our to-do list to see all of the transaction tasks rolled up on this one screen instead of needing to go into each individual person's profile to find out what is necessary to be done next. So you can stay on task with your transactions right from this transaction task to-do module. The next thing I want to show you are the Engage settings. So customizing your preferences can help you make Engage really work for you. The Engage settings will allow you to manage your leads, edit your transaction tasks, and much more. From the menu at the top right, click on the gear icon and then choose Engage settings. This brings you to the Engage preference page where you can manage several settings. The first setting is leads. You shouldn't need to make any adjustments here. Most leads will automatically be added to your list of people. What I really want to show you is your task manager. This is where you can look at all the tasks that have been created by default for each of the sales flow zones we just looked at. So let's look at the seller plan and customize it. You'll see each of the 3 zones of the seller plan, prospect, active, and pending at the top of the screen. You can change a due date for a task by hovering over and changing the day. You can also remove tasks. If they have a red X, you can remove them from the plan, but there are some tasks that are grayed out and not removable. There's also an option to add your own tasks. Click on the Add Task button and we'll show you a list of commonly requested tasks, but you can also select New to add in your own custom task. Just give it a name and a due date and add that to your list. One quick thing to mention here regarding tasks. You'll want to come to the settings page first before you assign any people to a sales flow zone, because if you make any changes to the task list here, they will only apply to any new person added to the sales flow. Any existing people in the flow will not see these updated tasks. Let's go back to the preferences screen and we'll talk about special dates. Special dates, remember, are birthdays, anniversaries, or house anniversaries. The Engage Preferences screen allows you to set the default email message, calendar reminders, and even an option to add new contact calendar dates automatically to your calendar for each of the 3 types of special dates. To make any changes, go ahead and select Edit. Let's say I want to have calendar reminders on. I can schedule that up to 2 weeks in advance. Remember, you can schedule any date email to go out up to a year in advance, but the reminders will only go up to 2 weeks in advance. You can also select Auto Add to make sure any date you add to a person's profile will automatically be added to your calendar. And then save your settings. Next, let's take a look at notification section. This section will show you all of your email notification options, and by default, you will receive an email when any of your contacts unsubscribe from Neighborhood News. You can manage these preferences at any time to stop or start seeing these notification emails. And then finally, we have Neighborhood News. You can update your Neighborhood News email message that goes out with your report, that very first Neighborhood News subscription email. And you can also create a sign-up link for Neighborhood News that you can post to your social media channels. Those are the Engage settings or preferences that you can set up. Be sure to look through at each one of these settings when you first log in and add your customizations to really make MoxiEngage work for you. So up to this point, excuse me, we've talked a lot about what you can do with your people to stay in touch, stay top of mind, and stay on top of things with contacts and leads you are currently working with. But let's take a step back and talk about your people or your sphere of influence. Let's go back to the My People screen. And I'll remove my filter that I have here. So within Engage, you'll have a list of people which over time will consist of your sphere and leads you'll receive from your broker. Going forward, you want to continue to add people you know to your sphere. These can be non-clients or buyers or seller clients. When you first sync your email and add your contacts into Engage, they will be labeled as uncategorized. It'll be the same if you were to import a spreadsheet list. So one of the things you'll want to do is look at your full contact list and begin to categorize your people. That way you can start to take advantage of all the touch points and action plans we just discussed. You'll be categorizing your people into clients and non-clients. And then for clients, you want to decide which step of the sales flow they are in. As a quick note, when you accept a broker lead, those people will automatically be assigned as a client in the marketing zone with a marketing plan. So one way to tackle this is to start by identifying the people you are currently working with and put them into the actives zone. So let's select a person. We'll mark them as a client. We'll also mark them as a seller client. So we'll make seller prospects. And then we'll move them into the active zone. Then we'll go back to My People. And we'll look for any people that we're at the end of the transaction with and put them into the pending zone. By doing this, we're looking for a small percentage of our entire database, looking for those that fit the active or pending zones and putting them into those zones first. For the rest of the people that are left, we have a categorize wizard to help you easily identify your people and put them into the correct zones, either marketing, prospects, or simply mark them as a personal contact. From the My People screen here, select Categorize Wizard. You'll see 6 people surface to you, and all we need to do is answer the questions for each person. Are they a client or a non-client? If they're a client, you can designate if they are currently a prospect, either a seller or a buyer, or simply put them into the marketing plan. Maybe they are a prospective client. The last question you'll be asked is whether or not they have ever been a client in the past, seller, buyer, or both. In this case, we'll mark none of these, and we can create a plan for this person. If this person happens to be a family member or a friend, you can actually mark them as a non-client, and you can designate them as a personal contact. If they were a coworker, another agent, affiliated agent in the office, or if they were a vendor or a contractor, you could mark them as a collaborator. These 2 options, either personal or collaborator, would allow you to still connect with them on their special day and send them campaign emails. The third option here, Remove from Engage, allows you to simply remove that person from showing up in Engage, but is not a deleted contact. MoxiEngage will never delete your contacts. Those contacts belong to the affiliated agent, and they will stay in your email account. Removing from Engage simply hides that name from Engage, but it also means that you will not be able to connect with that person on their special day or sign them up for any subscriptions. In this example, I'll mark this as a personal contact. I know that this is a lot of information we have covered and a lot of information to remember. So the last thing I want to show you is our Help Center feature. On all pages in MoxiEngage, in the bottom right-hand corner, you'll see this pink Help button. This widget is extremely helpful. Select the Help button and you get suggested help articles based on where you are in MoxiEngage. You can also type in your question to get some help. Then select the link for the article you want, and you can read the whole article right from the widget. You can also select the gear icon from any page and choose Help Center. This will bring you to the Help Center and allow you to search for other help articles that are available. The Help widget and the Help Center will be very helpful to you as you get started learning to use MoxiEngage. Speaking of getting started, I'm going to hand things back over to our brand expert to talk about your next steps.
Thank you, Dawn. That was so great. That wraps up our demo of MoxiEngage. I hope you are as excited as I am for the possibilities of what this great tool can do for you. Let's talk about some next steps. Here are some resources for you as you get started. There's a Getting Started checklist for you with suggested steps to take when you first log in, with links to help articles for how-to steps. There's also suggested daily best practices to follow while you get familiar with Engage and the workflows. We also have additional learning opportunities for you with some self-paced learning, and there's always the Help widget to give you just-in-time help. To access MoxiEngage, open the Leverage page. Click Tools and Resources, and then scroll down to find the MoxiWorks tile. Thank you for joining us to learn about MoxiEngage today. I hope you learned enough about the tool to get excited about how it can help you and your business. If you did, I would love to hear about it in our evaluation. You can complete an evaluation by clicking on the link popping up right now, selecting that you took a virtual class called MoxiEngage Agent, and that your virtual instructor was Dawn McClellan. Thank you again for your time and participation. Have a great day.